Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum. Habemus Papam.
From the very first moments of Pope Francis's papacy, humility would be the hallmark of both his example and his preaching.
Una sola cosa.
To become saints, only one thing is necessary: to accept the grace which the Father gives us in Jesus Christ.
The eldest of 5 children, Jorge Bergoglio, was born on 17 December 1936 to parents Mario and Regina in the Argentine capital city of Buenos Aires. His father and maternal grandparents were Italian immigrants, instilling in Jorge from the earliest age a special compassion for the poor, the forgotten, and those who dwell on the periphery of society.
After making my confession, I felt something had changed. I was not the same. I had heard something like a voice or a call. I was convinced that I should become a priest.
At the age of 19, Jorge entered seminary at Villa Devoto in the Archdiocese of Buenos Aires. 2 years later, a severe case of pneumonia nearly took his life, further instilling in the young seminarian a deep affection for the sick and the suffering. Ordained to the priesthood on 13 December 1969, Father Bergoglio made his final profession in the Society of Jesus in 1973, and within less than a year was appointed provincial of the Jesuits in Argentina. It was there that he lived out what would become his episcopal motto: lowly, yet also chosen, going on foot into the barrios of Argentina to bring good news to the poor.
Saint Francis was a rich young man, but Jesus spoke to him in silence. He made him understand what truly mattered in life: humility, mercy, and forgiveness. Through love, we learn to see reality through the eyes of the other. Do not forget that Christ's flesh is found in the refugee's flesh. Never tire of working for a more just world, marked by a greater solidarity. No one can remain insensitive to the inequalities that persist in the world. Faith is alive when it is shared. I would like to encourage the entire ecclesial community to be an evangelizing community, not to be afraid to step out of itself in order to proclaim, trusting above all in the merciful presence of God who guides us.
One of his first acts as Pope was to consecrate his pontificate to the care of the Blessed Virgin Mary, to whom he encourages the lay faithful also to turn as they participate in the mission of the Church.
The Virgin Mary is our exemplar. Let us ask her to teach us to encounter one another in Jesus every day. May you spur us on to meet our many brothers and sisters who are on the outskirts, who are hungry for God but have no one to proclaim Him. Encourage us to go out so that we may be disciples of the Lord. May you grant all of us this grace. Let us never forget that authentic power is service, and that the Pope too, when exercising power, must enter ever more fully into that service which has its radiant culmination on the cross. He must be inspired by the lowly, concrete and faithful service which marked Saint Joseph. And like him, he must open his arms to protect all of God's people and embrace with tender affection the whole of humanity, especially the poorest, the weakest, the least important, those whom Matthew lists in the final judgment on love, the hungry, the thirsty, the stranger, the naked, the sick, and those in prison. Only those who serve with love are able to protect. Jesus is calling you to be a disciple with a mission. Money has to serve, not to govern. What is the Lord saying to us? 3 simple ideas. Go. Do not be afraid. Serve. Do not be afraid of what God asks of you. It is worth saying yes to God. In Him we find joy,